All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarah Seti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Sarah Seti YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all know what it is. Black Power, Black Frequency. If you're feeling that frequency and energy, you should most definitely join. Link right in the video description is in the chat. Click it, you get a video introduction rundown on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarah Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarah Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like it and love it. You need to get on over there, check out the catalog, get you something, get a discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, GeneralSeti.com, SETI University. We talking about over 1,500 videos, nothing but heat, nothing but fire, over 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love from the general. Plus, we got the grandmaster teachers, man. I got hand-picked documentaries and lectures on every subject that can advance your mind. I'm telling you, it's not another catalog that can be put together that can even compare or compete. So get over there to SETI University, General SETI today. Become a member today. Don't hesitate. You feel what I'm saying? And everybody knows SETI popping on Patreon, dropping nuclear bombs on Patreon. We going live, family. I'm just warming up. I got to get warmed up so when I go over there, I'm on fire. How to reconnect to your black divinity. You should most definitely get over there. You know, we got so much going on out there. It is time for you to understand how to empower yourself and get this poison out of your spirit and your veins that they've been pumping in there from day one that you open up all these so-called holy books and have not had a master teacher could edit that information for you to get the juice out of it and throw away the pill. You've been eating the poison. You see what I'm saying? And you have not been spiritually growing like a primordial. You understand? One of the direct lineage of the creator. And so get on over there to Patreon, plug on in, get this information, because I guarantee you it's going to be ground shaking. That's right. And you know the general's on Rumble. You know I'm ready to rumble on Rumble. You see the Black Power scholar that will not stumble or fumble under no circumstances. You feel what I'm saying? That's going. I'm broadcasting live. Well, simultaneous. I'm not broadcasting today, but I will be in a couple of days. I want to get it off the ground where all the family know that I'm there, and then we're gonna get exclusive over there. I'm gonna start picking them off over there. You know, I know that's they little their enclave, but goddamn it, the general is there. Any one of them, I'm there. I'm there for all. I want all the smoke. You feel what I'm saying? So get on over there, become subscribe to the general on it's King Seti on Rumble. Make sure you subscribe. The link right down in the video description is in the chat. To all the family that donate to the general, I thank you. I appreciate the fact you appreciate me. Any of the family out there would like to donate to the hard working general, the link is right down in the video description. It's in the chat. Ray is putting it in the chat. Please click it, donate. I thank you ahead of time. And make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King Seti, General Seti, Sarah Seti. Rock that notification bell. Give the video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. Now, here we go, family. We talking about the 12 years that the man they call Jesus Christ lived in Egypt, but nobody wants to talk about that. You see, they don't. Now we know it's allegory, but nevertheless, it must be told because within the allegory, within a parable, is a hidden message. It's hidden. It's been you understand, it's being taught in a way where it hides the truth. And the one who is teaching the parable has the key to unlock the door to the truth. And many times they don't give the person the key. They speak the parable, but they leave those who hear the parable in a state of confusion. Leave them in a state of confusion. And so the thing is what they don't talk about. Because again, when we talk about Egypt, the only thing that they can say about Egypt is, oh, evil Egypt enslaved the Israelites. Did nobody told them motherfuckers to bring their ass to Africa? Did nobody tell them to bring their ass to Africa? When you read the Bible, it's not like when somebody come and jump on us and take us from our land. You see, they came to Africa to kidnap and take. You see? And so, the so-called Israelites asked Pharaoh, could they come into Egypt? They asked Pharaoh because their ass was out there in that damn desert and they were starving. You see, and according to the story, Joseph had the rank of prime minister. We know that this is a lie, but we got to decode it. It's information that been veiled that's telling the truth. That we will, that we be, being, righteous, and when we see a motherfucker hungry, we give him a bone. We give him a bone. We give him, something to eat. If we got land that, and you can do some work, we gonna hire y'all to do some work for us. You see what I'm saying? But you got to go down there in the land that they call Goshen, and that's where they went. But they asked to come into Egypt. Didn't nobody go get their raggedy ass? Didn't nobody go looking for them? They asked to come, and Pharaoh of good favor allowed them to go in. But they don't never say that Pharaoh showed favor. You see, God didn't force the Pharaoh to allow it. The Pharaoh did that of his own righteous, spirit to allow them to come in. And so, but they betrayed the Pharaoh. That's what happened. That's why he punished their ass. They came in there and they betrayed the Pharaoh, because many of them so-called goat herders and shit, when they brothers and shit on the outside was coming in to try to conquer Egypt, they became collaborators with their brothers. That's really what it boiled down to. They became a fifth column within Egypt. And so all that was a Trojan horse. When we allowed them to come in there, and they sat in there and they smiled and they did the work that was asked of them, but they was in there sneaking out, going to tell their brother, and where all the, where the weak, soft spots was in Egypt, and, and so on and so forth. And so that's the reality of that. But, but so the thing is, when there are many things about Egypt that is beneficent in the Bible, but they don't talk about it. And one of the other ones is the fact that when Jesus, and we know, again, I don't want y'all to think we teaching, we're preaching, we're teaching. We know ain't no damn Jesus, but we breaking this down for niggas out there that's lost in the book. And if we can get them and show them through this book that Egypt and the Nile Valley and Kush, and you know what I'm saying, and the Kushite Empire is our real history, this is a way and a means to get them over into the real history. And it is some real history in the book, but you got to peel them out of it by finding that truth in this book and use it as a springboard to get them over into the real scholarship. You see, and so that's what we're doing here. And so, no one says the fact that, that Egypt was the land of refuge for Jesus when he was a baby. You see, and when Herod, because it was prophesied that a Messiah would be born in Israel, and this brought great pain to the ruler Herod, because he knew his reign would be over. You see, if it was true that this king, because it said that he was the king, he would be the king of Israel. And so, that brought very much, much concern to Herod. And so he put out an edict that all Hebrew Israelite boys of the age 2 down should be murdered. He committed infanticide. But Jesus wasn't even 2 at that time. He wasn't even 1. He wasn't even 1, because it says that when the wise man came to visit Jesus, the 3 wise men, which were Ethiopians. Not one of them. When you talk about the Persians, you talking about the land of Nimrod. You talking about Memnon. That's the land of Ethiopians. And so they're gonna show you one nigga, and 3 white boys. That's how they always do. They got to inject themselves in it. But you talking about, even that people don't understand. And why was it that 3 magicians would be the first 3 individuals to visit Jesus as a child? Magicians. Now, and it's crazy because God led these 3 wise men to Jesus. These weren't just 3 individuals that just somehow just by mistake ran in to Jesus out on while they was riding their camels. No, this wasn't that type of situation. That they were actually led to Jesus by a star that was controlled by God. That's true. They followed the star, and they said they followed the star, and I'll talk about that. And see that brought great. When I was young and I was still studious. It brought I said, well, damn, why is these why would he bring magicians, the Magi? They wasn't even Israelites, you see. And so that right there that's a veil. You got to understand, that's a veil right there. They're showing you that some of that truth is coming from the Ethiopian bloodline, the Ethiopian scriptures. You see what I'm saying? Even with that, because when they talk about it, the Magi, and we'll talk about that. The three wise men. Let's talk about that. That's Matthew 2, and it says, now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem, the city of black divinity of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men. So they, see, but what makes them wise? Because they weren't Israelites. They weren't but wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and we are come to worship him. Now, and when Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Now, the question I used to ask, even that, like I say, I've been a scholar for a long time. I used to ask myself, I say, well, goddamn, how did the Magi recognize the star in Herod and nobody in Jerusalem recognized the star? You see, they didn't recognize the star, but it's supposedly their Messiah. That don't make no sense. You see, I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna drop this jewel on you right quick now. I'm gonna drop this jewel on you. Saying, we're talking about Matthew, chapter 2. Huh? We're in here now. We're in here. Uh, Matthew chapter 2, verse 2, and it says, saying, where we talking about the Magi, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and we are come to worship him. You see, and Herod the king had heard these things. He was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. This the fucking king of the Jews, and he don't even know where the fuck he's supposed to be born. You see what I'm saying? This ain't their Messiah, man. This is this is not their Messiah. This have nothing to do with the Jews. This is an African story. You know what I'm saying? They editing the story, but you can see clearly that they have no understanding of the story at all. You see, and so is and they said unto him in Bethlehem of Judea. And he should have asked them, well, why the fuck did y'all not see the star? And here come three goddamn magicians from Persia, which is Ethiopia. Now, you got to understand that in the ancient times, it wasn't known as no damn Persia. That's a lie. In the ancient times, it was known as Cush. Okay? All of what you call Southern Asia was known, it was a district of Cush. Understand that. And so, and thou Bethlehem in the land of Judah, art thou the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. He didn't even know. He didn't even know. The Jews didn't even know that the star even appeared. That wasn't a Messiah, man. This was an Ethiopian. See, y'all got to understand that the book been edited. You know, they didn't add it different names of Jesus and Herod and, and this, that, and the third. That this ain't got nothing to do with them. They didn't co-opted Ethiopian material. You see, Cushite Egyptian material. And so ain't no way this is their Messiah, because they don't even know the celestial signs that are supposed to happen when the time for the Messiah is to be born. They don't have no idea that this is even happening. You see? And you know what he did? And he sent them to Bethlehem. He sent the three wise men to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him. When they had heard the king, they departed. And listen, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, and went before them till it came and stood where the young child was. So the star led these three Ethiopian priests to Herod, to Jesus. See, we got to wake up now. We got to wake up. We got to wake up, and we got to know that, they didn't, added names that didn't have nothing to do, you see, with the story. You see, but so the star actually didn't lead no Israelites. Didn't lead no Israelites to Jesus. No, they led Ethiopian priests to the young boy. You see, and went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down with Isis his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened that, so the first Christians was the Magi. Y'all didn't know that now. Remember who told y'all that. The first worshipers of Christ. Now, when y'all understand what Christ is, again, we got to peel that off. That means black, okay? The Christ, Krishna. If you go in Sanskrit, you will see that it means Krishna, and it alludes to melanin. It alludes to melanin because of the oil. He says, he anointed my head with oil. Christ means anointed, but anointed with what? And then when you go into Sanskrit, you'll see the Christ figure there, Krishna, means black. So when it says he anointed my head, or he's the anointed, and you ask anointed with what, you will see it was the holy oil that they call melanin. See, we got to talk. We got to talk about this. And so the Magi was the first that worshiped. The first worshipers of Christ was the three wise men. So let that be known. The Ethiopian priests that came from Elam, not Persia. You see, or Susa, which was the stronghold of Memnon, and who was the king of Ethiopia. All of that was Ethiopia. Okay, and they gave him and opened their treasures. They presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and being warned of God in a dream. Listen, you see, and being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. Okay, another way. Now, what you got to understand here, listen to this. Now, when the Magi, knowing, and now if they're going to come all the way to worship this young boy, you see, this young baby, they already know who he is. They already been warned by God that Herod is seeking the young boy's life. And it says that once, that God warned them not to go back to Herod. You see what I'm saying? That they should depart and go another way. Don't you believe that they would tell Joseph, look, Herod is seeking Jesus' life. You see what I'm saying? Now in the Bible it's going to say that God told Joseph. You see, but the wise men who were priests, and see, all of them priests of the Ethiopian Empire, they were linked. The Nile Valley was the Grand Lodge. Now, when you go to Egypt at Luxor, that's the Grand Lodge of the Egyptian mystery system and the global system. You see, that was the Grand Lodge at Luxor. And so when they got ready to leave, of course, they would warn the young boy and his family, like, look, them goddamn Israelites is seeking y'all life. Herod is seeking y'all life. What I want y'all to do is our brothers is going to be waiting on you. Our brothers and sisters is going to be waiting on you in Egypt. You see what I'm saying? All get your shit together and go and they don't know where you're at. And so it's a perfect time. I'm going to give you the route and you take this route and I'm going to give you this. I'm gonna give you these trinkets and this, and when you get to this, they're gonna be waiting on you. And so the African priest had gave them the information. You see what I'm saying? And it says, when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt. But the African priest had already told. So that's when you start to add allegory and shit. They had already told them, like, look, Herod is seeking his life. Y'all get up and go into Egypt. Now, when you look at when they got there, when you look at the nativity, Jesus is a baby. He had just been born down there. He was in the manger. You see what I'm saying? He had just been born. And so when they went into Egypt, Jesus wasn't even 1 year old. He was still a child. And the next time you hear of Jesus, he was 12 years old teaching in the damn synagogue. See, that show you how cold-blooded Egypt was. He went into Egypt and he was there for 12 years. And when he came, because the Magi was priests, so he obviously, when he got into Egypt, he went into the school system. You see what I'm saying? And when he came back to Jerusalem, you see what I'm saying? He was in the damn synagogue with the rabbis, and they were astounded by how in depth a 12-year-old boy, you see what I'm saying, and how advanced that he was. He had their ass stuck on stupid. But see, people don't talk about that. Now, on another video, because I'm going to take my time to do that. There are areas in Egypt that don't nobody talk about that are actually places of pilgrimage where Christians go to, where they say Jesus actually either he lived there or he, you know what I'm saying, his family lived there, places that are, sacred to, Christians in Egypt. But there are stations in Egypt that speak that he had been there. You see what I'm saying? Whether it was a house or whatever it was. Now, this is, like I say, this is not at all any endorsement of Christianity as a whole. No, it's not. I understand that this is a veiled book and that the information is coming from more ancient stories that they've taken and they've added new names and they've crafted their own rendition of the book. But that underlining Ethiopian, ancient Egyptian spirituality is still there. You see what I'm saying? It's still there. And so what the general do is I come in and I peel away all the veil and I give it to you just, and for the family out there that might be, might be in the church, they might be of a Christian persuasion. This is a way to get them to see that Egypt and Ethiopia and that these is their people and that this is a great empire of the ancient world. You got branches of the Ethiopian empire all across the world. You see, and that's our legacy. And if I can use this book to go in there, and it is, like I say, it is some truth in here. It's wrapped around a whole lot of lies, but we can shred the lies and pull the truth out of there. And we can use this truth to help be a springboard again to get our people that might be in the Christian and Islam or whatever it is, to get them into the African history, the African spirituality, and share the lies of Christianity, share the lies of Islam and Judaism and any other ism. You see what I'm saying? And so, family, understand that again, that Jesus spent 12 years of his life in Egypt. That's profound that nobody really talks about. You see what I'm saying? And this is what gave him the advanced knowledge that all of these so-called saviors, whether they lived or not, their legacy speak that they went to the Nile Valley to get their education, whether it was Jesus, whether it was Buddha, whether it was a lot of these other deities, you know what I'm saying? That they came into Egypt to get their whether it was the Greek philosophers and so on and so forth, whether it was Moses, all of them came to the Nile Valley, and this is where they got they knowest, they awakening into the mysteries. You see what I'm saying? that great knowledge of that great ancient knowledge that our people had compiled over hundreds of thousands of years. You see what I'm saying? And so we again here that Egypt was the place of refuge. And when he could not live no other place on the planet, it was his brothers and sisters that accepted him in. You see that? Don't nobody talk about that. You see, they talk about, oh, evil. It was Egypt that took the Christ child in. You see what I'm saying? And gave him refuge and protected him and hid him from Herod and Caesar and who was seeking his life. Nobody talks about that. And that he went to school in Egypt as a young boy for 12 years. And then, like I say, you don't hear Jesus again until he's in the synagogue. That's right, the sin of God, the synagogue, the sin of God. When he was in the synagogue, you understand, dumbfounding the rabbis who couldn't even keep up with him. So that just show you how advanced that wisdom was in ancient Egypt. You feel what I'm saying? So family, and matter of fact, the next time I'm gonna try to get the stations for you. You know, my computer will be in probably a couple days, 2-3 days. I'm waiting on it, and then that way I can show y'all the different stations in Egypt that, you know, they say that this Christ child, you know, will either touch one way or another. And so we'll look into it, family, because don't nobody talk about that. All right, family. I'll be black. I appreciate y'all kicking it with the general. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I want y'all to hit up some of them links down there with the general. I'll be right black. Don't you go nowhere. We gonna kick it. You understand? I know it's Saturday and you ain't got nothing better to do but get this ancient wisdom from the general. This is the general saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Hit some of them links, support. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.